Hi everybody, it's Jenn from Creeth, November 2nd, 2021. Been a very difficult and eventful day that, what's that word? Microcosm? It's a microcosm of the way my life has been for the past couple of years. Anyway, I want to talk about life as a member of the working poor, because we don't hear enough about the working poor. We hear about the poor, and we got to help them. Then there's someone who has a job, a low-paying job, who's barely making enough money to scrape by. Yep, the rent's paid, the lights are on, the telephone works, but the fridge is almost empty. There's some bread in there and some peanut butter. There's a list of bills that haven't been paid. There's a credit card collections agency that wants a minimum balance and they're not getting it. There's a landlord that I've had to beg a few times to wait a few days to cash that rent. Thank you for your cooperation. I won't put the name out there, but and this is a university-educated person with several years of work experience. I get it. Times are tough. COVID has ravaged the world. A lot of people are out money, out jobs. This isn't just a COVID-era issue for me. It's basically career, life career. I'm in my late 40s, and I've been hearing it now for 30 years. Don't worry, when the baby boomers retire, there's going to be tons of great jobs out there for you. Well, guess what? The baby boomers didn't retire. They're still working. Some of them retired and went back to work. Just about every office I've worked in has people staying well beyond the retirement age, whether it's 55, 60, 65. Can I still be a young professional when I'm 47, almost 48? What's the magic 5 goals we always dreamed of having? I don't know what the order is. Wife, kids, job, house, car. A lot of people have all 5 of those and they take them all for granted. Then there are those of us who are on the back 9 of life and still have none. How do you stay positive? How do you stay optimistic? Throw in being trans, and that adds several complex layers of challenges and discrimination. Not always intentional discrimination by individuals, sometimes it's systemic. We supposedly have a great healthcare system here in Canada, but when I transitioned, it wasn't so great. Thank goodness I had a credit card and a line of credit and a MasterCard and a Visa and all those people who were willing to loan me money so I could pay for healthcare, which I needed, which is now covered. But guess what? When they change the policy, it's on a go-forward basis. They won't turn back the clock and say, you know those people that had to pay? Guess what? You're fucked. You're out of luck. Too bad. Fuck off. By the way, we still aren't going to help you get a better job. I've got a university degree, but I might as well either set it on fire or put it on eBay because it's not helping me. 14 years I've had jobs that... The only jobs I can get are ones that only require high school. All these great LGBTQ organizations out there, but there don't seem to be any of them that look at the chronic underemployment of trans women, especially middle-aged trans women. My cat's angry, and he has every right to be angry. He usually gets a little bit more luxury. I mean, we've got food, we've got kitty litter, we've got the treats, but not as many treats. He likes wet food, but we can't afford the wet food till we get our next paycheck. Here's how desperate I am. I ran out of Benadryl. I have this skin condition called dermographism, which means if I get tired or worn out and something rubs against my arm, I break out in hives. It's not fun. It sucks. I've had dermographism probably about 18 years now. I've had to modify a lot of things in life because of that. 90% of the clothing that's made I cannot wear. I need soft, light, cottony, whatever. Otherwise, just a shirt rubbing up against my arm, I'll break out in hives. Proper nutrition, proper sleep, things that make you healthy, it all helps. Unfortunately today, I didn't sleep well last night. In fact, I haven't had a good night's sleep probably for 20 years. My last job. Again, we go back to the challenge of finding work. 12-hour night shifts. That's the only... No one else... I couldn't even find a 9-to-5 job for a period of 8 years. And it got to the point where I had to leave the night shifts because I was totally broken down. I was burnt out. I was exhausted. Couldn't take care of myself. Now I have a 9-to-5 job, and I'm trying to adjust to being awake during the day and sleeping at night. Unlike cats. What are you doing, Dasher? It's not that easy. So we have sleeping meds, we have prescription sleeping meds, we have over-the-counter sleeping meds, we have herbal sleep meds, we have all sorts of things to settle ourselves down. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. Bottom line is when I'm extra exhausted, the dermographism becomes a... Dasher! My goodness. You don't like my video, do you, Dasher? Pretty boring. Nobody wants to hear about this. So part of my evening cocktail of sleeping meds includes a Benadryl because that helps fight. It's an antihistamine. Dermographism is a histamine reaction. I'm reading off the box. The immune system thinks it's being attacked, so it sends histamine. That's what a histamine reaction is. I don't really know what it is. I think it has to do with sending more blood cells to the area of the body, but again, dermographism becomes much more of a problem for me at night, so if you don't have a Benadryl, I'll be breaking out in hives, I'll be itchy, I'll be scratching them, and I won't be sleeping. So, thankfully, I've kind of taken it for granted that I can afford to buy Benadryl. So, here we are. We had a rough day at work. I arrived at work, and instead of doing my normal desk job, I was asked if I could help unload 27 filing cabinets of filing folders and throw them all into a bunch of boxes and then load them up on the side of the wall. So I had a very intense day of physical labor. Just tough enough on anyone, let alone somebody who's got a bum knee, who's exhausted, and who has dermographism. And not to mention someone who's malnourished because they haven't been able to afford to buy proper food. I haven't had a glass of milk. I haven't had proper protein. I'm living off of peanut butter sandwiches and spaghetti, basically. Plus, I got to walk to work. I can't afford a car or a taxi or even a bus. That's 8 kilometers a day I'm walking up and down steep hills. For some reason, I chose to move to a very hilly city. So, as some of you know, I wrecked my right ankle ligament 10 years ago doing a bunch of running. And that's still a problem. Those things never heal. So because of that, my left leg has been overcompensating for the limp on the right. So now I've got a bad knee, tendonitis. And the only way to heal tendonitis is to rest. Yeah, good luck. I either need a job where I can work from home or a job that pays me enough to afford a car. So we're working on it. It's not easy. Anyways, back to the Benadryl. So I come home. I realized I didn't have any Benadryl. And I literally had a bit of an emotional panic, a breakdown. Then I'm like, okay, I usually buy them in bulk. You can get like 100 Benadryl for $25, or you can get 12 Benadryl for $6.99 or whatever the hell it is. So I start going through my drawers and I find as many dimes and nickels as I possibly can, hoping that I can scrounge up enough that I can go over to the drugstore and get some Benadryl. Luckily, I stumbled upon a $5 gift certificate for the mall that I didn't realize I had. So off I go over to the drugstore and find the cheapest Benadryl. It's a no-name brand, 12 tablets. So I proceed to the cashier, and the young clerk had no clue how to process this gift certificate. So I went to the back where they have the pharmacy area, and the missus back there knew what she was doing. So the bill came to, I don't know, $7.86 or something like that. So I'm like, I want to put $5 on this gift card. And I just happen to have $2.35 left on one of my credit cards. The other ones are maxed out or over limit. So I say, can you put $2.35 on this credit card? And then I literally count out nickels and dimes, some in Canadian currency, some in US currency. And I had enough to get the Benadryl, so woohoo! I never thought buying Benadryl would be so difficult. I never thought life would be this difficult. I knew it was going to be tough. Coming out as transitioning in Newfoundland of all places. But I thought I could do it. I thought I could overcome the challenges. I thought I could fight the stereotypes. I thought I could educate society. It's been 14 years now. I thought we'd be further along than this, and it just hasn't happened. What's that phrase? Dasher, what are you doing? I'm glad I have my cat, because he just brightens my day. No matter how terrible things may be, a cat will cheer you up. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. That's what I was going to say. So I need a plan B. It's not the first time I've realized I need a plan B, but this time I'm serious. Newfoundland, I tried to make things work here. It obviously hasn't worked. There's obviously only so far I can go in life. People just aren't going to accept me and recognize me for the talents I have, the university degree I have, the education, the work experience. Everyone seems to hate on me because I'm trans or because I'm a mainlander. Mainlander is someone who's not a Newfoundlander. You live in the mainland. You're not really one of us type of thing. It's kind of a discrimination thing, but it doesn't get talked about here a lot. Even the LGBT groups don't like me because well, they're mostly lefties. I'm not left enough for them. I even tried to join a left political party, and half of the party didn't want me there because they didn't think I was left enough. A poor trans woman I'm definitely not right-leaning. I'm not far left. There's problems there, but we won't get into that. That's a whole other video, but it's amazing the struggles you go through sometimes, and it makes you appreciate, I guess, the good times when you go through the bad times. And what do you do when you're... I always like sports analogies. There's 17 games in the NFL season. You need 11 wins to make the playoffs. 11-6 or better. How do you salvage your life when you're 0-10? Or maybe 1-10. I've played 10 or 11 games. I've got 5 more games left to go. Probably not going to make the playoffs. A lot of those goals I talked about, they're never going to happen. Best thing I can do is play out the string, as they say. Unfortunately, in life, you only have one season. There's no draft picks. There's no second chance. I can't turn the clock back and start over. All I can do is carry on from where I'm at. I don't know how many more years I have left. 10, 20, 30, I don't know. Heck, I could drop dead tomorrow. Anything's possible, but I can understand why people feel so overwhelmed, especially people in my generation and younger generations. We get told all our lives just how great things are going to be, and when we actually get there and things aren't there, things don't happen, I'm the first generation in over 100 years that has not been as successful as their parents' generation. And this sucks. It's terrible. Especially someone like me. I was labeled a child prodigy when I was 9 or 10 years old. Great things were predicted for me, so I've always been tough on myself. I've put a lot of pressure on myself. Those expectations were so high, which makes failure and disappointment even more devastating. There's always somebody better off than you. There's always somebody worse off than you. So try to appreciate what you got. It's not easy. And in addition to all those sleeping meds and the Benadryls, we also have the antidepressants. I don't know what my life would be like without them. I'm afraid to ask. I don't know what the point of this is. Just that I don't know. If you're struggling to get through tough times, I understand and I can relate to it. Sometimes just waking up and getting out the door is positive. And yeah, can we try a little harder here in Newfoundland to be accepting of trans people? There's a lot of trans people here now. It used to be that people would leave when they realized they were trans. When I first got here, I couldn't find any trans people. I looked around 6, 7, 8 months, finally found 1 or 2. And they all left. They're like, there's no way I'm going to come out and transition here. I'm going to lose my job. I'll lose my family. I'm like, you know what? Damn it, somebody has to do it here. And we've seen success. There are other trans people who are now doing okay, doing well. We've elected a couple of city councillors in this province. I know of 2 or 3 other trans people who have better jobs than me, so congratulations to them. We've still got a long way to go. Now, we're barely at the table, and those of us who are fortunate enough to be at the table, we're at the lowest rung on the ladder. There's not a lot of managers and executive directors. That's the next step. We need, I don't know if it's going to be me or not, but we need some leaders. We need trans people to be given the same chances to grow and evolve into leadership roles, not just here in Newfoundland, but in our world. It's tough. I don't know. I'm not sure where we're going with this video, but yeah, I just thought I'd turn the camera on and talk because I haven't done that for a while. And if you're still watching, hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for keeping an eye on me, and we'll turn the camera on again soon at some point. Dasher, you're napping. I've been talking so long that the cat's trashed the neighborhood, trashed the living room. Now he's having a nap, so adios, arrivederci, good night.